Buenos días a todos and welcome to Puchica y con Titulo. My name is Alexis,
And my name is Steven.
and on this mini video, mini podcast, we're gonna talk about our first week of classes pretty much. And first off, I'm gonna start with Steven. Like, how was your first week of being at CSU Fullerton?
Um, you know, like I knew it was going to be busy, and I know that this program is very challenging, but I didn't realize how busy I was going to get like right away, if that makes sense. I showed up the first day, like to my classes. I'm trying to do the takeover, you know. Yeah. So I was literally trying my best to like make posts and stuff like that, or like, but then at the same time, I was just like trying to figure like where my classes were. Um, but like for one of my classes, it was like, oh yeah, by the way, like I hope y'all pay attention to this lecture because we have a quiz on Wednesday. And I was like, wait, what?
Mhm.
Already? So that was like very like, oh damn, and then like it's like I'm trying to get to know my cohort. I'm trying to get to know everyone, like that I'm gonna be working with. you know and it's crazy because like I didn't realize how I actually was going to miss like the Westwood area, I would say. Like, like I graduated and then I kept working here, uh but never really hit me to like, oh yeah, like I'm done here, right? Until like I actually like moved last week. So I was on campus and I was like, damn, this campus is so different, because I was just like, people were like, oh, it's a lot of people. And I was like, no, it's not, like, what do you mean? This is like a summer station at UCLA type of shit. I don't even know if I'm supposed to use bad words, so sorry. But um but other than that, like I was trying to figure out like I was well trying to settle in into my new place at the same time, and then taking classes, trying to figure out my schedule. So something that it was like a lot of like new things happening in one week,
Mhm.
you know. Um, and the other thing is like I kept saying, I don't know if I actually told you, but I know I told some of like our like mutual friends or like some of my other friends. I was like, oh yeah, like it's very isolating. And they're like, oh, and then one of them was like, texted me like, oh, elaborate more. And I was like, I'm too tired to text, so I will not elaborate more, like I'm just letting you know it's more isolating. But but like what I meant by that is like I went from like knowing everyone to like like not just like at school, but like my job, it was like right down the street to like I knew like I would walk anywhere and I would say hi to someone to like get into place to a place where I'm like, I honestly don't know anyone, because
Mhm.
even when I transferred to UCLA, it was like, okay, I transferred to UCLA, to a new place. Okay, but people from my community college transferred
Mhm.
to me, so I knew people. So before I even started my fall quarter at UCLA, I had already done TSP too. So that was like a huge like plus. So this was like a very like very different for me. Um, but other than that, like honestly, like I was like very happy to be there. Like I didn't realize how much I actually miss school. Crazy to
Mhm.
say, from like someone that like me personally, I never thought like I would actually like be in higher ed like that, like going to like barely graduating high school, you told you my story about like graduating high school out of survival to like actually being
Mhm.
like that was like that was like very it's such a blessing to be honest. Like the way I see it is just like the sacrifices that I'm making right now is like they're going to be so worth it. Like right now I'm like I've been up for like I think like 26 hours now just because I woke up yesterday like 6:30 in the morning to go to lab. And then after lab I had to do other stuff at school, and after school I had to go home to get ready, then had to come all the way to Westwood to work.
Mhm.
Mm. And then usually like I get some downtime at work, but this shift was actually a very, very busy shift. So I didn't really get to like rest. And I'm also trying to take advantage of like being there and then doing homework and I'm doing all of that. So yeah. But I also gotten to know some of my cohorts, so like that's been good. I got to like it's like either like, oh yeah, like let's study together for this class or
Hmm.
so when we see each other, like it's starting to like I feel like second week will be better for sure.
For
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like how's your cohort, how many people there is, and then how like how's it been being a cohort base coming from institution that you yes you do know people in your class, but it's also like now you're in a cohort that you're gonna bond, you're gonna go through it everything for the next 2 years.
Yeah. So I thought it was 19 or was because that's how many I counted during orientation, but it's actually 20. Someone missed. But the first 2 days it was just like, oh hey, like cool, But then by like Wednesday, I would say we were like running to each other and we're like, wait, you're in postback? Yeah. Oh, I'm in postback too. Oh, what? And then so it's like, what school did you go to? What did you go for undergrad? What do you do
Hmm.
this and that? So then we started talking about like what do we want to do? Some people want to be dentists, some people want to go into family medicine. I want to go into surgery, like different like healthcare professions that they want to do. But and then also we have like SI sessions after class for each class. And it's crazy because like that one is open for everyone, like everyone, but the people that actually are attending the SI sessions are only postbac students. And then so it just made me realize like our mentality or our perspective of things is much different because now we're in a program that literally this program passing this program will define if we're going to get into our next program or not. So now it's not like we can just like it's just like, oh yeah, whatever, like I'll skip class or anything like that.
Hmm.
We don't have that. Plus, like I was talking to one of my peers, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like we're paying a lot of money for this," and it's like, "Yep, we're paying a lot of money, so we better take advantage of everything."
Hmm.
But, it's so far it's been great. It's been a good experience, just being like getting to know them, getting to know like their personality, like little by little. I mean, it's only been 1 week, but
Hmm.
so far I've gotten to see like some people are actually like super cool, like
Hmm.
and then there's another one that like she was a tutor UCI.
Oh damn.
So like I was like struggling with something and I was like I asked her and she's like, yeah, let me help you out. And then when it's my turn, I was like, I can help you out with this. So that's what tells me that I'm like, okay, like we're actually going to like really help each other out because we know how it is. Actually her
Hmm.
talking about like places like UCLA and UCI, especially like in like STEM, I would say like students are very, very, very competitive.
Hmm.
So it's like helping you is like you find the rare people that actually want to help you because the rest are just like, no, I'm going to like pass this class.
Uh-huh.
I don't care if I throw you under the bus type of thing. I'm going to pass.
Hmm.
And then it's also the difference within like institutions. Like let's say I someone also went to UC San Diego and then we were talking about how UC San Diego, UCLA, they're like so focused on research because they're like
Hmm.
institutions. So like we didn't really have the opportunity to really learn from our professors, but now like even in labs, they're like professors teaching you. It's not TAs. So it's like very different like the way they teach, I would say. So yeah.
Period. Love to hear that. Is
Yeah.
there what? Sorry, I missed that.
No, no, go for it.
Is there anything else you want to share? Anything like you're like is pressing your mind about your program, or even like um, yeah, anything.
Um Well, I mean, like I said earlier, like I'm very, very happy, to be like in my postdoc program because like someone told me like not long ago, they were like, "This is your shot, so you better take it."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I'm doing. And as you know, like I have really made a lot of sacrifices
Yeah.
to like be where I am right now. But I'm also like, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that like I'm not like I don't know if I don't know if scary is the word that I want to use, but just because like I have no days off. I'm literally
Mm-hmm.
7 days straight. So I do have to like make sure that I at least have like the 1 or 2 hours to myself where I can just like you know, just because like for example, yesterday, like I went to lab, did all that, and I went to work. And you know me, I'm always gonna smile at work. But it doesn't mean that I'm not tired. Like it's only been one
Mm-hmm.
I'm freaking exhausted. I feel like my eyes are not even open right now when I'm talking to you. I'm like so tired. Like, and then like I have other stuff to do today. And then I have to work again. So
Yes.
like so like right now I'm like trying to think, okay, how many hours am I going to sleep right now? So I have time to do homework before I go to work, just in case
Yeah.
it's too busy at work, so it won't give me the chance to finish my homework that is due tomorrow. So it's just like things that I'm just like trying to figure out. And then also like now I know how the next 15 weeks is going to be. And like I said, it's just week one, so I already know that it's going to be. But it's not like it's the first time I heard it. Postbac is a really, really hard program.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and yeah, I think that's I think that's pretty much what I can share right now.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
my cats are good, by the way.
You're funny.
They're just like cats now.
No, yeah. I think one thing I want to ask is I know you posted it yesterday in our Instagram here in Puchica y con Titulo about like going to the gym. Is that anything else this week that you did for like self-care or you think that you didn't but that is something you want to work on during the next 15 weeks but the next year and a half as well?
Mm,
2 years, yeah, 2 years, year and a half.
Well, I do want to be consistent in the gym because like yesterday I realized how much it really like helps. Just like I say, it was like my distress. Like one, like really taking care of myself like physically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I cannot call myself a future doctor if I don't take care of my own health, right? So like that's something that I really gotta focus on. Also because it's for me personally, going to the gym is really good for my own mental health. But I feel like this week I was so busy trying to figure out what my schedule should be like
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't really give myself the opportunity to really just like, okay, like let me enjoy my cafecito, let me enjoy something. So other than like learning, like what I need to learn in my postback, I do want to like at least like have some time to like at least half an hour a day, to like read something that has nothing to do with school.
Mm.
Just continue. Like the one thing that I feel like the way I take care of myself too is just because like I like to learn a lot about like how I can keep advocating, for like other people, just something that I personally like, me, like I'm always like trying to like find ways to like help people out, but yeah, like I think I do give need to give myself at least 30 minutes
Mm-hmm.
during my time at school to just like sit down and breathe, listen to my music or something. Because honestly, this week I barely listened to any music. And I love me my music,
Mm-hmm.
it's because I was just too stressed. And then the other thing is actually like when I go home, it's just like maybe I should like learn how to like settle down a bit and then continue instead of just getting bored and just jump
Mm-hmm.
into something right away. Because that's what I did this week. Like I was finish class, stay at the library, then like take the bus home, get home, and then just jump into my homework. and then my gatitos are over here trying to get attention, and I'm like, no, I gotta finish this, and it's just like, and then I wake up the next day, and then I'm gone again, and it's
Yeah.
like, my gatitos also don't deserve that, like they're everything to me, so like I think like just learning how to like really just take a breather, and that's something that I do need to learn, especially for the next 2 years. Yeah.
3 years, yeah.
um, I think that will make me one a better student, and will really prepare me for what's really next, which is medical school. And especially like I mentioned, I don't want to do just medical school. I want to do a dual degree, so I'll be a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, uh, I think like I think yeah. Yeah. I went to the coffee shop though. I think I got me my little coffee from what was it called? Comeria?
Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I went there. I was like treating myself to some cafecito.
yeah.
So I give myself some props real quick.
That's good. I think. Yeah, I think just hearing your like how your week was, it's like it seems very intense, but it also seems very like there's moments you don't realize that you're not taking care of yourself. So I think like just being able to like also like practice that I think is very important. And just like you said, like 30 minutes doing something that is non-school related, or just even like taking the time to drink your cafecito in the morning. Because
Yeah,
I
instead
know
of
you
chugging
love
the
like
coffee, you actually enjoy the coffee.
no, yeah. So I feel like this week you probably didn't even enjoy that just because you were like on the move of like, okay, how does this week go? And I feel like it is also normal to figure that out. Like your first week is all about like what works, what doesn't work. And even like I think a lot of people don't talk about it, but I feel like the first semester, first couple weeks of the first semester, you starting higher ed is like it's not that you go through it, it's more like it's a learning experience for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? And even though like I already been like a community college and then UCLA, it's still a
Hmm.
learning experience. And I'm not gonna say that I'm not going through it because I am going through it in some ways. Um, I think I had a moment to myself where like I got all teary eyed because I was
Mm.
damn. First of all, I was like, where the hell are my friends? Like I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're in SD, everyone else is like either still in a UCLA or they're like starting a new program, which I like I'm very happy to see people like some people that I've known, like they started law school, like nursing school or
Hmm.
masters and all that. And it's just like, hell yeah, I'm always very happy to see people succeed. But then at the same time, like, God damn it, like we're not together no more.
Hmm.
But yeah, and it's crazy because like I feel like I in you and I, especially in communicating a lot. I feel like this week more than the summer,
No,
this is the
yes,
most
that's
communication
something
that
I
we have
noticed
had
too.
you know but it's crazy because I even be telling you like hey amigo, like you gotta take care of yourself and this and that. I'm good at telling you, but I'm bad at practicing it.
Yeah.
So it's something that I do gotta practice my own advice too. Yeah, but yeah, that's my week. Thank you for coming to my
Period.
TED talk.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
mm, Well, I do want to say to like everyone, that just like I do see the support, like from everyone else, and honestly, that means a lot. Just because, um, like I told you yesterday, one, I'm not really a social media person,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really trying my best, honestly. So I think like that's like the most posting I've done about myself, then than I ever
Any in your
did
lifetime.
in my life, yeah. But just because like for me it's not really about like showing off. I could care less about that, but it's just like my goal is to really, really motivate people. If it's not about going like for me, it's not like you have to go to medical school and this and that. Like I want to motivate you for you to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your passion is, I hope that me sharing, whatever I share throughout this time, I hope it really motivates you to advocate for yourself
Yes.
and do something for yourself, because although it is stressful, it is so rewarding, like being able to get your education, and like so many people have said it, like once you get your education, no one can take it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that like I just really hope that, like that's like really my goal. And I feel like this week I that's also in my mind too, like, okay, maybe I should make one post here and there, like just because I really just wanna like I wanna show people, but at the same time I also wanna be very truthful as to like
Mm-hmm.
everything's rainbows and butterflies, like it's just yeah. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I gotta. I think that's all I gotta share for this week.
You're funny. I think I'm gonna talk about briefly like my first week.
Well, let me
Um,
ask you first.
oh my, go ahead.
You're like,
Go ahead.
let me make it about me now. Just kidding.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Nah.
I did not. No, because I was like,
No, I was going to finish my sentence
no,
and I was
yeah,
like,
for
oh, now
sure,
let's turn it into you, but
for
you
sure,
were
for
like, no, 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 you're taking too
sure.
long.
No, no, that's not what I meant.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Right, right,
No,
right, right.
but anyways, so how was your first week? I know you've been working for the past month, I would say,
Yeah, it's about to be 2 months actually. So yeah, like a month and a half, 2 months
month and a
already.
half. But this week, this week was actually the real like start of your like full-time student, full-time job. So
Yeah.
like how was that? Are you like have you been able to figure things out? Like how did you feel your first day? I really want to hear a lot about your first day, and then we'll continue to the rest of the week.
Yeah, like for sure it was an adjustment. I want to say like the first week, I knew it was a lot of like, what am I gonna do? Just because, like Steven said right now, like I started my job full time, like I said, in my takeover with residential life in July and have been working now July, August, about to enter another month, next week, September. So it was really focused on like adjusting to SD, adjusting to a full time job because it is my full
Mhm.
time job. I would say like I worked in UCLA, but they're very much part-time jobs, and this is like my real first full-time job. And then this week, so my program looks a little bit much more different. Like Steven, Steven is in classes, doing everything 5 days a week, and I want to say like very early morning to very late night. My experience with my master's is a little bit different, actually. So I have classes on Wednesdays from 4 to 6:40 or 7:40, something like that. And then I have class again from 7:40 or 8 something to 9:40. So I have
Mm.
two classes on Wednesdays. And I want to emphasize my program is made for people to work in the day or to pick up an assistantship. And what an assistantship means, because I think a lot of people don't it's not that they don't understand, but they don't know what it means, because personally I didn't know what it meant to
Actually, I'm
pick up
doing
an
that right now.
an assistantship or a GA. So pretty much is like a part-time job. But
Hmm.
the problem is that you get very minimum hours in a workplace. So a lot of people in my cohort right now are looking for GAs, but also a lot of them are struggling because um, they're not full-time jobs. You can get in the week probably 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours. You can probably get the full-time like week hours in a week, but it normally assistantships are more of like an experience, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And so that's why my program is made like that. And then Thursdays I only have one class from 7 to 9:40. So I only have classes Wednesdays and Thursdays this semester. Next semester, for what I heard, it's 3 days a week, not
Mm.
just two. And to be honest, it was a lot of bonding, like with our cohort. So we're 19 people, including me. I think yeah, we're 19 people, or 20 or 22, because there was a people missing orientation that I was like, wait, I didn't, and I didn't count this week because I was like, oh, like
You said 20 or 22?
20 or 22, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, and it was an experience because just because being part of a cohort of 22 something, 20 something, it is an adjustment for sure because it's you're gonna work, you're gonna study, you're gonna rant, you're gonna probably become good friends in these next 2 years because you're going through the program very
Mm-hmm.
much together. Um, but I would say it was a lot of like getting to know each other, what the program means. I think a lot of there's two things of the program that I really like is that they really emphasize that use I statements. And I think that's very important just because my program is very social justice orientated, very much student affairs, very much like DI, other things that are happening
Mm-hmm.
in our society right now in higher ed. So I think that's the part that I really like. That it's a lot of like I statements. They're like never speak for others, speak for yourself, speak about your experience, speak about like what have you been through. Like yes,
Mm-hmm.
you can talk about so many people, but it's like what have you been through. And
Exactly.
then another concept that it's very used in our program is I think it's the triangle method or triangle conversation. So pretty much,
Explain a little bit about the
yes, yeah,
triangle,
no,
the
for
circle,
sure.
the square method. I'm just kidding.
I'm like circle,
Like, this is
square.
the shape.
So pretty much a triangle, like, well, of course, what it is, but it's pretty much like not talking shit about people, like with yourself, with other two people about another person.
Mm,
Like what the professor explained it is that if you have something to say or something made you uncomfortable, speak to the person that said it.
exactly.
Don't make like these two other people think bad of this other person.
Exactly.
Don't go around saying stuff, but don't address it to the person. And I think that really stood out to me because one, I think it's very important to acknowledge that higher ed, and I think that's what I realized this summer with my job and like with classes this week, is that higher ed is very big.
Mm,
Like, and whoever follows us that wants to go in higher ed for sure, like in higher ed in any way, like student affairs, professor, doctoral, anything working with
anything.
students, anything, people know each other.
Mhm,
Like people know each other. This person knows this person. They're friends with this person. Like it's a lot of like networking, but it's also a lot of like, shoot, like people actually know who you are. And I
yeah.
think that's very important with that like triangle method because just address it to the person. Just if there's something that was not said, like, like, did you mean to say this or did not? So that's very
Yeah.
important. And then I want to say, like, being able to have a job, a full time job, and start in July, I do want to say, like, it is a privilege for me because I already knew some of my cohort members in July before starting the
Mm-hmm.
program. And I think I also have acknowledged that I've become more closer to them. So I think I need to also like branch out as well to my cohort
Mm,
members. Because being coworkers is very different with being cohort. Being coworkers is very different to being coworkers and then vice versa. But I do want to say like it was a transition for sure.
mm,
To do both things now in the same week.
okay. Um, I've been wanting to ask you this, but I was like, do I ask them? No, I wanted to ask you yesterday right away, but I was like, no, I'll wait until we actually talk because I want to hear it instead of read it, you know. But I mean, I feel like a lot of your friends, they have always called you el profe, you know. So yesterday, I feel like you had the opportunity to be el profe, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, huh.
So I would really like to hear about uh well for of course like I would like to hear about how it went, your class went, you know, but most importantly, I would like to hear how you felt like emotionally, you know, mentally, you know. Um because for me, I would say like that's something that like you know, when I do something in like my, you know, the profession that I want to go into, you know, I tell you about it, I feel like I'm like, damn, like I'm so close to it. Like I'm like right there. I got to touch a little bit of it. So I really want to hear how you felt about it.
No, yeah. Thank you for asking that. And you're so funny because well what Steven is talking about, because I think people are gonna be like what the fuck is happening? What are y'all talking about? So pretty much this semester I'm a discussion leader, which if for people that know it's more like a TA, that's what it is, but in SCSU they call it discussion leaders. Is I'm actually just having a discussion like lead it with another every Fridays, and it's about leadership skills, about like education, being a leader, and what does that mean, but also what can you incorporate to be a good leader.
Mm,
And pretty much I started that this semester because as you all know, PhD is what I want to do, but I feel like I haven't had experience with teaching in higher ed. I've taught, yes, elementary school and middle school students, but I haven't really taught college students. And it was really, I want to say it was just being in the room was really good. I think,
mm,
and I haven't, yeah, I didn't text anyone about it, and I really haven't talked about it enough about like me being a discussion leader. Just because I feel like, and it is something I need to work on, is like I really think is like, oh, it's another thing that I have to do, because it's like it's something that I want to gain experience, but it's also like I have to think about like this is gaining experience, but also like this is very much I can make an impact to someone as well in the classroom.
exactly.
So I think when I introduced myself, like I was like, damn, like I'm teaching a class.
How
And
did you introduce yourself?
you're funny,
I'm like, I'm your
but
student right now.
so pretty much I introduced myself. So it was a slide of my picture with my name, my pronouns, the time of the discussion, my email, whatever. And I was like, hello everyone, my name is Alexis Ayala Alvarado. My pronouns they, them, and I am leading discussion 7 or 11 that I'm leading. And then yeah, every time a discussion leader would present themselves, like people would clap. And I feel like that for me personally, I was like, damn, okay, like
I
because
see.
these students are fresh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. These students are freshmen, and sometimes I feel like freshmen tend to be like shy or tend to be like more quiet. And we did like an activity. One of my coworkers, but also is part of the program that I'm part of, but he's a
Mhm.
second year in the second year cohort. He led four corners, and one of the questions was like, does the leader need to be present, or no, does a leader have to have perfect attendance? And
Mm,
I think one of the students was like, yes, but also being present doesn't mean the only thing. It's also reaching out, saying like, how are you doing? Is there anything I need to do? Like not just being in a meeting or being in person in a meeting, but it's also like, can someone take over my position if I were to leave this position? And am I being a great leader for it? And I think that really stood out to me, because I'm like, being a leader doesn't mean to show up. It means
mhm.
also like asking how are people doing, or what
Showing
can I
up
help
in
you with?
different ways. There's
Yes.
levels of showing up.
Um, but it was good. And then we did an activity with me and my co. We went to like after the session, because yesterday was more I'm like getting to know like everyone, and then now going to our sessions. And we played a game like we did a get with the partner and find five things that you have in common. And then everyone shared out. And then it was, I really liked that it was talkative. Like for
Mm,
me personally, I really like when people talk, but also being able for people to talk means that they're comfortable with each other, but also like the two discussion leaders in the room. Um, but I'm excited. um, I think I didn't really think about it until right now, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of things I'm doing is like on the go, 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 go. And I don't really think about it. And I think that is something I'm trying to work on after this week that I saw last night. I was like, damn, like, it was just go, 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 but not really like thinking about like damn, I did this shit. Like
Hmm.
I'm a full time student, a full time worker, and I think that is something I have to work on for sure.
Mm.
Like acknowledging, like, damn, I'm doing this shit. But I'm excited for the next 15 weeks. And yeah.
You know, it's crazy because I feel like you and I talk to each other a lot about like, like when we have conversations about school, or even life in general. I feel like both of us always like end up saying, I feel like I need to work on this, and that. But then we're good at telling each other, I think you should be proud of yourself and this and that. And it's true,
Mm-hmm.
like me telling you, and I'm not just saying this just because we're doing this right now. But I think like I have also told you before, it's like one, like I think like I do try to my best to tell you like I'm very proud of you, like
Mm-hmm.
from meeting little Alexis to like seeing like mastering an SD or whatever you call it, but like like but for real though, like being in your master's program and honestly like everything that you have is something that a lot of people unfortunately don't have.
Mm-hmm.
With the job that and everything else that comes with it. But you don't have it because it was just given to you. You have it because you work hard for it. Like when it wasn't just like, here you go, Alexis, and this is
Mm-hmm.
give me, give me, give me. I honestly, since I met you, you have always been so good, and I think like that's something that I feel like made us click a lot, just because like, I have always said I love how responsible you are. I love how goal oriented you are, so that's just like something that I'm just always proud of you for that. So the fact that you have this, uh take that moment to be like, damn, I did that, because you did,
Yeah.
you work your ass off to like doing those applications, like until like 2, 3, sometimes 4 in the morning, sometimes overnight working on Power Library, like I know you did that, um, you prep for those interviews,
Mm-hmm.
like in, you have like great work ethic. So it's just like this is like earned. It's not given, So um yeah, like do your homework for next week is for you to like really take a moment to just take it all in.
Yes.
And like it's crazy because I'm telling you this, but because like I personally don't do that, and it's just because you and I are like very like wake up and go, what's next? What's
Mm-hmm.
next? But yeah, like for real though, like you should be very proud of yourself. So when you told me
Thank
yes,
you.
because I actually had no idea that you were going to be a discussion leader. So when you told me that, I'm like, huh? Like get classy, but like but I was on my way to work when you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and I was like, and I'm not really of a text person, so I was like, I'll ask. Plus, I wanted this to be the opportunity for me to ask you,
Yes, for sure.
for you to share. But yeah, like I was like, damn, that's so cool, like they're actually being a prophet now, and I'm like, damn, I'm proud, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah. Anything else you would like to share to the class?
I don't think so. I think I'm excited. Um, I'm very grateful. Um, and I think I've said it in my takeover too. Like, just being able to be in higher ed is a privilege right now. Just because of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'm excited for these next 2 years. And see what I learn and what I outgrow for myself and what I grow in me as well, because I know this journey will be a lot of like self-reflection and a lot of like what can I do better in my community, in the Latinx community, but also what can I do better to learn from other communities, because
Exactly.
going to being a professor in the future or a director or assistant director or going to academic counseling, because To be honest, I don't know what I want to do. It's up in the air right now.
Hmm.
Is getting to learn like from others people's backgrounds and perspectives as well.
Exactly. It's crazy because one of my peers and I we were at the library Thursday night, and we were talking about like how the postbac program is very like focused on like community-based program and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I was just like, I even asked her, like, I said, okay, if I ask you some questions, this and that. And she was like, yeah, and I even told her, like, if you're uncomfortable with some questions I ask, please let me know. Because, so just I get a little bit too excited, and I don't realize what I'm asking, So she's like, no, it's okay, but but she was like, oh man, like, you're like very, like I was telling her, like, of course, I'm all about my community. I'm all about like, I'm Guatemalteco. Of course, I want to help my Central American Guatemalan, community. But it's not just about that, like for us, for like I don't want to speak for you, but I want to speak for me. You know, for me personally, it's like community is not about where you're from, and that's are the only people that you're going to help. Community is
Yeah.
about like who can you really like impact by like sharing your story or anything. It doesn't matter like the background identity or anything like that. And like as like future like professor or future doctor, and we want to like serve more people. It's
Mm-hmm.
like really I don't know, it's really great that like I feel like I'm around people that have like similar mentality, and then of course I have a friend with similar mentality. So that says a lot, like, but yeah.
Is there anything else before we wrap up that you want to say?
I do have a highlight, honestly.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Of course, I'm not gonna mention any names, but like, I was very happy to get if someone messaging in our on our. I can't even talk anymore.
Uh,
Like, I'm glitching. It's about 27 hours now, but who's counting? Um, no, but I was very happy when someone reached out to us, and like asking for advice,
mm-hmm.
sharing with us, like what they're going through, and like, it for me, honestly, like I was so happy. Like I think I replied so quick because I was just like I was super happy, because I was
I
like,
saw that. Yeah.
because like I was like, this is the whole reason to do it, like because and then I was just like, okay, that right there for especially for our first week doing this,
Yes.
for me, this that was like an achievement. That was a goal, like okay, like we're able to like provide, you know,
Mm-hmm.
either advice or resources to like other people, and the fact that people feel comfortable, like
Yeah.
you know they feel comfortable reaching out to us, and I feel like that was one of my highlights, to be honest.
I'm like, now that you would share a highlight, I have to. I'm like, I have to share. Um, I think a highlight, and I think, I mean, there's several things that have happened this week that I'm like, oh, like, period. Like, I love my week. I think you just posting on social media, like that is very big. Like, as you all know, like Steven does not post. Like he does post about political stuff, what is happening with Palestine, Sudan, and
Palestine.
other countries with genocide happening. But like about himself, like what he doesn't post. And so like I think I told him a comment this week that I was like, damn, like you're taking like initiative. Like I think it was yesterday's post. I don't remember. Or the takeover.
It was
But I
yesterday's
think
post.
you're like, I know which
Well, I
one.
mean, you even said you were actually even said that you were afraid that I wasn't going to post a lot for my takeover. You
And
were
he did.
surprised, not afraid. You were surprised.
Surprise, yes. So I think that's the highlight of my week, just being able to see that. And then going back to what you said, your comment, like texting, like, yeah, I feel like we've texted this week a lot. And I think I know at some point in the semester, like we might fall off with the communication, but I think what I love about our friendship is that We don't need to text 24/7. We don't need to text every day. Like we text once a week, probably sometimes when we're busy, when we were like doing UCLA at the same time. I remember it was once a week or every other week or every 2 weeks. So I
We
think,
were not to a point that we didn't talk for like 3 weeks straight.
yeah. And then I think at that point I was like, wait, I'm a little concerned now. But I think that's it shows a lot with our friendship how it is. And I think that's something that I want to end off like, and even starting this like Instagram and hopefully in the future a podcast. I mean, we're doing a mini podcast right now. It's just
It's not a mini when it's already an hour. This is the podcast now.
the podcast. I think I'm really excited, and I think that was my highlight of just seeing you like grow in your social media era. So yeah. Um,
Thanks.
is there anything else? If not, we can end it here too.
No, I think I shared enough. But I do want to say thank you, everyone, for the support. And then thank you, Alexis, for willing to do this with me. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
literally one night, I was like, I have an idea, but I don't know how to do it because I'm not a social media person. I have my social media, but I don't really,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because I was like, who can I talk to? And I was like, who do I trust at the same time? And you're someone that I trust. Honestly, I trust you with my life. So when I reached out to you, I was like, we'll see what they say, like, we'll see.
No. Yeah.
And when you said yes, I was like, you're like, I'm down. And I was like, wait, for real? I was like, so like for real, thank you for doing this because this really means a lot, to me. Just because like this is something that I always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like you and I are like the perfect pair to do it. Yeah. So yeah.
Period. Thank you. And then thank you for everyone. Stay tuned for other things as well coming your what we're gonna post or just like post here and there on our Instagram. And then so yeah, that was Puchica con Titulo.
Mateos Chela.